Hey, what's going on YouTube? Aaron here. We are back in the California Double Destroyer Division. Let's see how that works out. But we're going to teach you nubs, battleship placement. And while I am definitely not a battleship player, I do know the basics. And the basics involve getting into a good position and not sitting in the back. And if half of the players in my matches would follow that advice, I'd probably have an 80% win ratio. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and push up, not too aggressively. You do not want to be the focus fire. There's no real true HE spammers. The Nurembergs are pretty decent at it, but you know, a lot of these higher tier gameplays involve Cleveland, Chapiev, and dangerous cruisers like that. So I understand the sentiment of not wanting to be the first in line to get burned to death, but putting yourself in a position to get burned to death is a lot more useful than really. What am I trying to say here? If you're in a position to where you can get burned to death, you didn't position yourself correctly. That's how I wanted to say that. But as you can see, we've got a nice broadside right off the start, and we're moving into this island cover here. I do not necessarily like this spawn at Bravo here, but it looks like our team's actually got a decent distribution, and there's 7 penetrations and 2 overpens. Holding a middle position like this, especially when you spawn in the middle, gives you these crossfires on these battleships moving out into position right off the bat. It's a great spot to have, especially in the beginning opening salvos. As you can see, 2 salvos away, and we have 35,000 damage. Now we are giving up broadside to this Mutsu. But considering the amount of fire he's taking right now, he's probably not too focused on us. This engine's out. Hopefully he repairs it just in time to get back up to speed. Now we can see the enemy's pushing, and they have a few German battleships with torpedoes, so we do not want to be too excessively aggressive here. But as my opening strategy has shown, we already have 45,000 damage, and we haven't taken a point. Well, we've almost eliminated the Mutsu. Who's calling for my support? But yeah, we do not want to get in a brawling match with the Gneiss now. We are too slow and too vulnerable just to his torpedoes because of our lack of maneuverability. But in the meantime, we are going to take a beautiful shot on the Nuremberg and hopefully get the much wanted devastating strike. But we missed it by a couple overpens? 2 or 3 more pens would have been it. But yeah, sailing broadsiding in a cruiser like that, especially at this time in the match, is a big no-no. You want to decrease your angle, but he's not going. No, now he is. He must have watched my cruiser video, or he realized that. Oh, okay. So nice lag on that one. I'm going to take this Scharnhorst before he can really do some damage to us. But now we're kind of pushing out here, and again, still getting position while maintaining angles, favorable angles, and there's another 13k. Yes, we are giving up broadside to these targets, but our team has had an excellent push on this side, and we're actually going to hold right here. Gato's asking for support, but it's 2-on-2, destroyer and cruiser. Versus, you know, I think he's stopping. That's why we held that shot. Or that's why we aimed it the way we did. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty good one. It was. 97k in the first 5 minutes with the California. I just had to play the California, guys. The New Mexico wasn't doing it for me. But that's a good point to maybe point out. The California is a research bureau ship, so you will not get her right off the bat. She is a very similar class to the New Mexico in terms of gun placement, gun caliber, and things like that, but the California is almost better in every single way. Not a favorable pen against the Gneiss now there. But we're going to go ahead and turn in and actually try and flip the guns here. Again, we're just picking targets right now. Priority targets go radar cruisers, destroyers anytime they're spotted, but radar cruisers are honestly the number one. Those are the most dangerous threats the longer they go throughout the game, as well as destroyers. As we can see, though, by simple positioning and knowing your role as a battleship, we actually haven't taken a point of damage, but we've dished out 100k already. High caliber is soon to come, but do not expect that every game. It's really, you know, a lack of your friendlies doing anything is the reason you get high caliber. That, or you know, you got some good position and some good broadsides. But as we preach, we see a destroyer, and I maybe didn't lead him enough, but I think he slowed down, and yeah, we chunked him pretty good. But in the meantime, we know the Gneisenau is one thing on his mind, which is what all Gneisenau players think about, and it's sickening. Torpedoes. His range is 6 kilometers, unless he has some crazy build that I don't know about. But there we go, and can we? No, that's what I thought. When he gives up his broadside to get the other side off, maybe, we're going to try and absolutely just punish him. Dispersion and RNG did not want to give it to us, however. But it looks like we may be able to get another shot on the Gade. Is it Gade or Gada? Gada good? I think it's Gade. Well, we are supporting you, but we're doing it in terms of murdering the destroyer. You do want to lead destroyers by a decent margin. There's the high caliber and the kill on the Gada. Gada. I think it's Gade. Gada? Somebody tell me in the comments down below. But if you are interested in a research bureau that does not take too long, the last segment of the California is rather lengthy. But this is a great ship, and it's tier 5, so you're not going to be getting Yamato, Shimakaze, and all these rentals that should be slowly phasing their way out in the next week. He's probably dead. Oh, he missed the torpedoes at almost point-blank range. Goodbye. There's the high caliber and the Confederate damaging 6 ships, 20% of each. So we've been a force with, and we actually haven't been touched. You will get games like this, but do not expect to have all of your health. If I were to look at myself, I'd be like, wow, he was sitting in the back, and we actually weren't. We were one of the most forward battleships in the middle. When you spawn in the middle, a middle position is very excellent. We had crossfires here, and crossfires on ships going to that side. Now, if all of your ships lemming train in the middle, L-E-M-M-I-N-G, then no, that is not a good position. But as you can see, our team is map control, cap control, and we're about to have the victory because the enemy did not want to push forward. Sitting in the back in the battleship is probably the most useless thing you could do in any class, really. Well, the destroyer sitting in the back I'd probably burn my console. But what do you need help with? There are 3 ships left. I don't think we're going to get the Quacken, but we can try. We've got a broadside Colorado, aimed slightly above the waterline there, with the plunging fire and just RNG and stuff in this game. Yeah, he was actually coming in, so... How do I get a shatter and a bounce on the same salvo I get a penetration and an overpen? Confusing. Now, I probably should shoot the Scharnhorst here, but I want the kill. Got a solo capture. Now we're just aiming for pens, so we're going to aim mid-belt. It's always a safe bet to aim there. You get the full salvo of penetrations, and he's off the board. If you aim waterline for every shot, with the way the game is being recently, you could be losing out on substantial damage because the shells do fall short. It's just something I've been noticing recently. Now again, we're leading almost in the superstructure, but that's because of the angle at which he is sailing out there. But other than the left flank, the enemy team did not push up at all. and you can see the result of that. No crossfires, no capture points. The only ship that did was the Gneisenau, and you have to give him a little bit of credit on the enemy team, but I'm tired of being on the enemy team, essentially, and nobody wants to push forward. I get focused in whatever ship I'm in, mainly because I'm super famous. No, that's sarcasm, but mainly because people are scared to play your ship. If you're scared to play your ship, go to AI, try it out, learn the tactics, or go back to Tier 5. I've been going back to Tier 5 because Tier 7 is almost unbearable, especially with the rental legendaries, but those will slowly, like we said earlier, slowly be phasing out. They're gone in a week. 8 days here at the time of filming this. This actually looked good. He slowed down a bit and then sped up, so now the Poltava just got absolutely nuked. There goes the Quacken, and of course we leave him with just enough health to be yoinked by anyone with any sort of dispersion. But that's alright. This game is not about kills. It is not about damage. It's about wins. In terms of XP and wins, that's what I really focus on. And he got... Oh, wow. That guy's RNG said, nope. Yoink. Thanks for playing. 4 kills, 160-ish K. I didn't see the final number there. That's a pretty darn good game to emphasize my point, and that is the video. Basically, you need to push forward in your battleship, 2800 XP in the California, 800 above the next person, and 1000 above the next person after that. By playing the... And I don't think we got touched. Did we even get shot at? We got shot at once, and they all landed around us. Well, I guess maybe my positioning was all right then. You should really be giving up some of your hit points, just because the enemy team kind of potatoed, and you can see that by the numbers of their XP. The top players had some good numbers, but this drop off here is the reason that these games are lasting 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and nobody's having any fun. But that is the video, kind of back to the basics here in the California. We chose the California because the New Mexico wasn't giving us what we wanted. It's because of my build? Nope. But here are the two tier 5 battleships I recommend starting at for knowing the basics. The California and or the New Mexico. Now the California is a bureau ship, and we should be very close to the Caba. Where is it? Red, white, and blue. So a little bit shorter than most segments, but there is a few more missions, or segments, a few more levels on this last segment here of the California, so be prepared for that. But they do give you the camo for all these ships. I like the Research Bureau, but I wish maybe you have to have the New Mexico to get the California, or for example the Bismarck to get the Grosser Kerr first. I think Legendary Tier is being ruined because you can complete all of these missions without having a single ship except for maybe the Albany. Yeah, it might take you a year, but it's still possible. And then that person has no game experience, and that's the reason I'm making these videos and that they're doing so well. But yeah, that is the video, guys. To briefly recap my points: position, pushing forward, tanking damage. Now, we didn't really cover the third point because nobody shot at us, and we were in a great position. We utilized the map, the island cover, and our teammates' positioning. They had good position on the flank. You can see what happens when you lemming train. That is when you immediately leave your flank. If you do that, please, please stop it. As Michael Jordan said, stop it. I didn't do that meme correctly at all, but yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. Do not immediately leave your flank. Now, if both of your teammates immediately leave your flank, try and hold it for a moment, see what the enemy gives you, and then kite away. Call the enemy out of position, and hopefully will realize what they've done and push up. But people just leave their flank and they sail in formation, and 8 ships in 1 square is never a good idea. You gain no additional map control, no crossfires, and no real position to defend yourself from if the enemy's coming at you from all sides. I know it's cool looking at 5 ships sailing along together, but this is not a naval simulator. It's an arcade-based shooter. Although the ship does look awesome. Here's the California. We've gone over her. Check out my video on her if you want to see the build. We've got sims there. I actually think I'm running secondary. Yeah, I was playing the Massachusetts earlier, so I wasn't even running... Whoops! There's that. But yep, that is the California Battleship basics positioning and not being a bum Battleship player. If you sit in the back in your Iowa and say that you have 20 kilometer range, so that's what it needs to be used at, you are wrong. You do not need to rush in and die immediately, but sitting in the back is a losing strategy for the most part. Safely pushing forward is the way to go, and I think I just proved it. But the game is free to play, so feel free to play it however you want, but I'll stick with my almost super Unicum win rate. Not really, but Unicum, I think, by definition. We'll see. The stats are not available yet, so... That is the video, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate the viewership on the stream. I was having a frustrating morning, and if this did not record correctly, I am going to break every piece of technology in my house. So, if it lagged, then make sure to like, make sure to dislike. I don't know what else to say. I'm out.